Okay, I was talking to you earlier about parents and stuff choosing, and I mentioned I would make a video on the interview. Okay, let's talk about the interview. I know if you want to get with a real company that's really serious about it, you're going to be interviewed by a staff member in China. Now, I have been hired. I was hired with 51 Talk, and I was hired with ABC by a foreigner. But I realized the very best jobs. Now, when I say the best jobs, after years now and having some experience, I realize why that's not a good idea. When I was hired by a foreigner, they needed teachers. I mean, I hired in and I was booked. It's great. Now that the market is oversaturated, you got a problem. Because a lot of the interviewers are teachers that also work 2 or 3 jobs, or they come from another company and they've got a lot of friends, and those friends may come over and say, hey, get me on, and they say, I can get you on. And they have a lot of power because what they put down on that sheet's what the home company's going to get, and then the company approves or disapproves you, but it's a big scam. They're not the ones that did it. They're going on the recommendation of that interviewer. And I've had the interviewer take me all the way through and then stretch it out, and then bam, her friend was ready to hire in, and she was hired, didn't even have to finish the interview process. I was kicked right before onboarding. She was hired right after the initial interview. It's the way it goes. I think if you're going to get hired by a company and they're really sincere, you're not going to be hired by a teacher. There's too much room now with the oversaturation for them to play favorites. And they do that. They do that. They've got so many online friends, so many teachers' friends. It's a big network of cronyism. And I do it. I talk to all my friends. I talk to people at all these companies. Now, they may say, you might try that company over there. My company's not hiring. But I've never had one charge a referral fee. I've never had a friend say, I can guarantee you anything. We're honest and open with each other. And I think that's what we need in this business. I really do. Market saturated. Now, if the company is sincere in hiring, you're going to get a Chinese interviewer. Now, what is that interview like? Let me tell you. I do presently work for 2 other companies. And because they're small and I love them to death, I'm not going to name them. I'm not going to go into details. It's a daytime company, both of them. I was interviewed by Chinese staff members. And actually I was interviewed by some young ladies. I got hired and started right to work. I've been interviewed for some companies by a Chinese person, and here's some of the signs you need to look at. When these other ones were interviewing me, they were smiling, they were looking, they were engaged with me, they were actually testing me, but you could tell they were into it. They were really, really into it. Their focus and attention was that interview. I've interviewed with 2 or 3 Chinese people, and they're looking over the counter. The minute the camera came on, hi, how are you? Yes, my name is Teacher Terry. How are you? Oh, hi, how are you? I'm fine. My name is whatever. And and then they don't want to give you too much information. Now, these other girls were really talking to me and getting to know me a little bit. These just they right away, they saw my face. They didn't like what they were saying. Bam, too old or didn't look pretty enough. Right away, guarantee it. These girls were looking over their computer. You could tell they were watching somebody and listening to them. Their hands motions were going on. They weren't moving their hands like they were writing and taking notes at all. They were too relaxed in the back. They didn't encourage any open-ended questions. They didn't do any, and then at the very end, okay, well, we'll get back to you. We'll let you know in a couple of days. No emotion, dry. They weren't excited. They left you with this feeling of there's something, a void. These other girls when I was hired, didn't do that. I felt great from the interview, and I really felt like, hey, these people, even if I didn't get the job, I know they were listening. And I do my best with these companies. I do. I really do. One of them's more like family than the other one. And, sometimes the way I talk to people, my family, isn't the way that I would talk to other people in a professional setting. It takes a while for some people to get used to that. So we've had our little, but we're all cool. But I can tell you, look at that interviewer. Look at their face. Where are their eyes? What are they doing? Are they looking down, reading? Is that hand moving? Are they checking? Even if they're checking negative, at least they're listening. Is there noise going on? Where is the interview taking place? Look for those body languages. And I knew right away I wasn't going to get hired. I knew right away I wasn't going to get hired. In fact, one of them was quite rude. And she said, well, do you have any questions? And I said, yeah, could you tell me what I said when I first came on? She said, well, what does that mean? And I said, you never heard a word I said. You turned off right from the very beginning. So why didn't you just stop the interview and say, I can already tell you you're not going to be a fit for our company. Well, I didn't mean for you to think that. I mean, that's not the case at all. I said, yes, it is. You see, I'm also an interviewer, or was, and I can tell you we had a checklist. We had criteria. I didn't always go by it because I feel like we should be fair. But what's that body language? It's hard for you to get him motivated and do a really good demo if that person, an older person trying to play a 5-year-old, but can't even play a 5-year-old because they're already so bored with looking at you, they don't even know how to act like a kid. This is Teacher Terry. Hope to see you in the classroom.